Hi, I'm Wyndham-Read, a fitness expert and also an ambassador for Heart UK, the cholesterol charity. And this is why I wanted to say, first of all, well done to everyone who's running the marathon on behalf of Heart UK, the cholesterol charity. Fantastic. We're behind you. It's absolutely amazing that you're doing it. You're raising money for an incredible charity, but you're also going to get yourself super fit, which is fantastic. You're going to be setting an example to others, and it is such a massive achievement, so really well done. And also, it's not only about running the marathon, it's all the training you've been doing beforehand, which is fantastic. So what I wanted to do is now just share with you some training tips which you may already be doing, but it's not long now before it's coming up. So these are my top training tips for the marathon. Okay, so tip one is taper. And by this, I mean, what I want you to do is 3 weeks before your marathon, start tailing off your training. And a lot of people panic about that, but let me tell you, it's so important as it's really going to give your body, your muscles time to really recover. So 3 weeks before, reduce your existing training load to just doing 75% of it. Then 2 weeks before, you do 50%, and then the week prior, reduce it just to 25%. And I promise you, you will get so many benefits from doing that. So don't panic. Tapering is really important, and that's why that is my tip number one. Okay, so tip number two is music, as music is fantastic at motivating us. So what I suggest you do is, why not create your marathon playlist? And by that, you can find some really good upbeat tunes and go for stuff that is got a good beats per minute. So anything above 130 beats per minute is going to be a good pace to be jogging at. And then also you might have some songs that are just, really motivating and inspiring for you. So I recommend you create your marathon playlist. Okay, so tip three is just stretch. Now that is so important, especially that week coming up before your marathon. Even if in your lunch hours, just go for like sort of a 10-minute nice power walk, and that's going to really help lengthen through those, through your hips, your hip flexors, just so we're making sure we've got great flexibility through the lower body. Spend some time doing some hamstring stretches, because the last thing you want to do is be running a marathon if those muscles feel tight. So really just invest some time and doing some stretching. And remember, when we stretch, it's important. We've always got warm muscles. Never stretch if you're cold. So you could stretch, say for example, after you've had a bath, after a shower, or even if you want to just march on the spot for a couple of minutes and then do some stretching. So here is tip number 4 of mine. Apply the 2 R's. And by that, I mean rhythm and relax. So what I want you to do when you're running is try and find your comfortable rhythm, and then also really relax into the run. It makes such a difference. Sometimes when we run and exercise, we can be really uptight and tense, and that's actually more challenging on the muscles. So just try and relax into it. And once you find that comfortable running rhythm, you'll literally be able to run a marathon. Okay, so tip 5 is your outfit. And by that, I mean it's really important. Make sure the outfit that you're planning on wearing when you run your marathon, that you have actually worn it several times doing a long run. So you're comfortable in it. It's not going to feel restrictive, because it is so important on that race day when you're running the marathon to feel comfortable in what you're wearing. So my next tip is water. Well, let's be honest, we should all be drinking plenty of water anyway. Water is one of the best ways to increase our energy levels, so it makes fitness feel easier. We need it to really look after our muscles, our organs, absolutely everything, our mental concentration, the whole lot. So just make sure you are drinking plenty of water in those couple of weeks building up to the marathon, so your body is fully hydrated and fully ready for that race. Okay, so my next tip is see success, and by that I mean visualize how amazing you are going to feel once you cross that finish line, because you are going to do that and you are going to feel incredible. And it is really important weeks before, keep visualizing that, because you've got the power to do it, you've done the training, and that's going to be your motivation. That's going to keep you going around that course. So keep thinking how incredible it is going to be when you cross that finish line. So my next tip is to say when you actually start doing your race, the most important thing is don't rush off too fast, too quickly. Start slow, and remember, often the first part of a run is normally the hardest. That's when the muscles are warming up, the joints are lubricating, so it takes a little bit of time for the body to relax into the run. So keep it nice and slow at the beginning for the first couple of miles, and then you can slowly start to increase your speed. Okay, here's a tip of mine that I use actually when I'm running races, which is I kind of play games. So I might think, you know, if you're struggling a little bit, then just distract your mind and think what you're going to do. You are now going to slowly overtake 5 people. Once you've overtaken 5 people, then you can take it a little bit slower and then look at bringing that back up again and then think just overtake another 5 people. Or wait till you've seen someone, say, like in a red t-shirt, then you're going to overtake them. You know, just distract yourself, because often, sometimes when we feel tired and it feels challenging, that's our mind saying it more than our body. So try and distract your mind and play games, and as I say, set yourself challenges as you're running along. And my next tip is really don't forget when you're running around, also when you're doing your training, just to really think how well you've done. It is such an incredible achievement. You know, you are going to feel incredible once you've done it. So just remember how well you're doing and coach yourself around that course, and just keep saying you can do this and you will do it and you are going to feel amazing once you've done it. So my next tip is sleep, and by that I mean really try to get between 7 to 8 hours good quality sleep, and not just the night before the race, you know, even like the week, the build up to it, so that your body is fully functioning, because sleep is the time that our body repairs and recovers itself. So if you can, avoid any late nights and go for 7 to 8 hours sleep. So my next tip is don't forget to eat your carbs, as carbs are a great source of energy, and what's important is just make sure you don't eat anything completely brand new that you're not used to eating, but just stick with a really healthy diet. You know, something like some brown wholemeal pasta with some tuna is fantastic. You know, carbohydrates are so important. A lot of people think carbohydrates make you fat. Well, they don't. What is important, obviously, you just always want to choose the healthier variation of carbohydrates. So always choose wholemeal over white bread, you know, and always try and go for wholemeal rice, whole grain pasta. But, you know, carbohydrates, don't avoid them, because they are your best source of energy. So those are my top tips for you running the marathon. And really, from myself and from Heart UK, the cholesterol charity, we just want to say we're really proud of you, and we're going to be backing you all the way on that big race day. So keep going, and we think it's amazing, and we think you're amazing. And if you want any extra fitness advice, any tips before your big race day, then you can always email me at lucy@lwrfitness.com.